The Gettysburg battlefield is located in southeastern Pennsylvania and is the site of one of the most important battles of the Civil War. It was here that the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia under General Robert E. Lee met their match in the Union Army of the Potomac led by General George G.I. Meade. After 3 days of intense fighting from July to July 1863, the Confederates were forced to retreat back to Virginia, never again to invade the North. This decisive Union victory also marked a turning point in the war, as it led to the decline of the Confederacy's strength and ultimately its defeat. Today, the battlefield is preserved as a national military park, and visitors can explore the area where the battle took place, learn about the events that unfolded there, and pay tribute to the fallen soldiers. But beyond its historical significance, what makes this place so special? What is it about the Gettysburg battlefield that continues to captivate people even today? Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are exploring Gettysburg battlefield in Pennsylvania. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode. On July 1st, 1863, Confederate troops entered Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, hoping for a quick victory over the Union forces. The town's residents quickly fled, leaving the soldiers to claim the town as their own. Soon, however, the Union forces arrived, and the two armies clashed near the town in what became known as the Battle of Gettysburg. One particularly bloody engagement occurred at Little Round Top, a small hill overlooking the battlefield. There, Union soldiers held out against repeated Confederate attacks, inflicting heavy casualties and forcing the Confederates to abandon their assault. One of the key figures in this battle was Major General John Logan, who rallied the troops and led them to victory. His actions saved Little Round Top and secured the Union's position on the battlefield. But Little Round Top was not the only place where the fighting was fierce. At Devil's Den, a rocky, wooded area, Confederate forces made several attempts to dislodge the Union troops entrenched there. Again, it was the Union's superior firepower and determination that won the day, repelling the Confederates and inflicting heavy losses. As the fighting continued throughout the day, both sides suffered heavy casualties, but it was clear that neither army would give up without a fight. The Battle of Gettysburg had begun and would soon become one of the most pivotal moments in American history. On the second day of the battle, the Confederates launched a massive attack on the Union center at Cemetery Ridge, hoping to break through and end the fight once and for all. Despite fierce fighting and heavy losses, the Union forces held their ground, repelling wave after wave of Confederate attackers. Throughout the day, the roar of cannons and the crack of rifles echoed across the battlefield as thousands of soldiers fought for their lives. But as the sun began to set, it became clear that the Confederates would not be able to break through the Union lines. They had been beaten back and forced to retreat. Despite the Union victory, the battle was far from over. On the third and final day of the battle, Confederate General George Pickett led a desperate charge across an open field toward the Union center at Cemetery Ridge. Despite heavy casualties, they reached the base of the ridge, but were unable to dislodge the entrenched Union troops. With their final major attack repelled, the Confederate Army retreated back to Virginia, marking the end of the Battle of Gettysburg and their invasion of the North. The battle had been costly for both sides, but the Union victory was a turning point in the war, leading to the eventual downfall of the Confederacy. To this day, the bravery and sacrifice of the soldiers who fought at Gettysburg are remembered and honored at the Gettysburg National Military Park. Visitors can explore the battlefield, learn about the events that unfolded there, and pay tribute to the fallen soldiers. When planning your visit to Gettysburg, there are several things to keep in mind. First, the battlefield is spread out over a large area, and visitors are encouraged to plan accordingly. The park is open year-round, but the weather can be unpredictable, so be sure to dress appropriately. There are several ways to get around the battlefield, including by car, bike, or on foot. However, some areas are accessible only by bike or on foot. In addition, there are several museums and historic sites in the area that are worth exploring. These include the Gettysburg National Military Park Museum and Visitor Center, the David Wills House, and the Eisenhower National Historic Site. There are several places to stay in the area, ranging from campgrounds to hotels. Be sure to book your accommodations in advance, especially if you plan to visit during the busy summer months. Finally, be sure to allow plenty of time to explore the battlefield. There is so much to see and learn about this important piece of American history that you won't want to rush your visit. Now that you know a little bit more about the battlefield itself, let us talk about some of the famous people whose lives were forever changed by the events that unfolded there. One of the most well-known figures associated with Gettysburg is Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Although he was not present at the battle, he delivered his famous Gettysburg Address there on November 19, 1863. In this speech, he paid tribute to the soldiers who had fought and died at Gettysburg and reaffirmed his commitment to preserving the Union. Lincoln's words have inspired generations of Americans and remain an important part of the nation's history. Another famous person connected to Gettysburg is Charles Marshall, the man who shot Lincoln's assassin, John Wilkes Booth. After Booth assassinated President Lincoln in April 1865, Marshall was sent to capture or kill him. He tracked Booth to a farmhouse in Virginia and confronted him. When Booth refused to surrender, Marshall shot him, ending the life of the man who had murdered the president. Marshall was later tried for murder, but was acquitted due to the belief that he had acted in. But what about the soldiers themselves? What famous people fought at Gettysburg? Well, there were many notable figures who fought in the battle, including General George G. Meade, who led the Union Army of the Potomac, and General Robert E. Lee, who commanded the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia. Other famous soldiers who fought at Gettysburg include General John Buford, who led the Union cavalry on the first day of the battle, and General James Longstreet, who was one of Lee's top generals. These men and many others played a crucial role in the outcome of the battle and are remembered as some of the most important figures in American military history. So why do people still care about the Gettysburg battlefield today? Well, it's because the battle was a pivotal moment in American history. It was the deadliest battle of the Civil War and one of the most important turning points in the conflict. The battle resulted in a decisive Union victory and marked the end of the Confederacy's last major offensive in the North. It also led to the decline of the Confederacy and ultimately its defeat in the Civil War. In addition, Gettysburg is an important symbol of courage, sacrifice, and the cost of war. The men who fought and died at Gettysburg came from all over the country and represented a wide range of backgrounds and beliefs. They fought bravely and made the ultimate sacrifice to preserve the Union and end slavery. Their courage and sacrifice continue to inspire people today. Finally, Gettysburg is simply a remarkable place. The rolling hills, open fields, and wooded areas of the battlefield are a beautiful and haunting reminder of the battle that took place there. Visitors to the battlefield can experience the history firsthand and connect with the soldiers who fought there. Overall, it is clear that the Gettysburg battlefield remains an important and relevant place today because of its central role in American history, the courage of those who fought there, and the beauty of the site itself. Whether you're a history buff, a student of the Civil War, or just someone looking for a beautiful place to explore, the Gettysburg battlefield is definitely worth a visit. Thank you for joining me today. Do you know anyone who has visited the Gettysburg battlefield? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're there, make sure to hit that like button so you never miss an exciting episode.